So it's been brought to my attention that men no longer want to come up to women anymore. Due to sex allegations, women being just so rude and disrespectful, and rejection.
And I said, do not approach me. And he immediately started going in the other direction. And I just kept saying it over and over and over. I said, do not approach me. Do not approach me. And he, of course, got what the F did it? He started cussing and yelling, what's your problem? And I looked at him, and he actually then crossed a couple cars down from my car. And he didn't come anywhere near me. He crossed a couple cars down from my car and was like, continuing to cuss and say, what's your problem?
But before we go any further, let me share the comment of the day. Shout out to King Nicotine. He said, "It never fails to amuse me when women go on about how they're independent and can make their own money and try to conflate men no longer having to be in the provider role as the reason men aren't interested, equating it to some nature of insecurity or other nonsense. No, as men in a not even just that we like feeling needed, men being needed is a necessity. When we're not needed, what are we? An accessory. Just like her sunglasses, purses, shoes, earrings, all of it. See, ladies, we watch what you do with your accessories. You'll favor some for a while, then you'll see something else you want, and the one that was your favorite you'll replace without a second thought, and we see that is exactly what you'll do to us. So, we're saving ourselves the trouble. Enjoy your other accessories. We don't feel the need to be a part of them. Well said, brother. Please don't forget to reach out to us by email to claim your $5. As usual, guys, I'll pick one comment from each video. It may be the funniest, the most liked, or one that touched me, so don't forget to leave a comment, and you may be our next winner. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons too, as it helps a lot. Now, back to the video.
Embrace your masculinity.
I'm literally shaking right now because I just had a man approach me in a parking lot, and it went fine. And I'm going to tell you why it went fine and how to address it, because it was in a book I read, and this is how you're supposed to address it, but it scared me. I'm literally shaking. So this guy, I am alone with my son, by myself, a woman, and a male approached me in a parking lot. He's, "Excuse me, miss," and I don't know why in the hell he was approaching me or what he was trying to do. And before he was probably 30 feet from me when he said, "Excuse me, ma'am," and I turned around and I literally yelled at him and I said, "Do not approach me." And he immediately started going in the other direction, and I just kept saying it over and over and over. I said, "Do not approach me. Do not approach me." And he, of course, got what the F did it? He started cussing and yelling, what's your problem? And I looked at him, and he actually then crossed a couple cars down from my car. And he didn't come anywhere near me. He crossed a couple cars down from my car and was like, continuing to cuss and say, what's your problem? And I said, you do not approach women in a parking lot. I just kept saying, do not approach me. You do not approach women in a parking lot, yelling it. No male should ever approach a woman in a parking lot. Ever. No male should ever approach a woman in a parking lot. And if a male does approach you, you need to turn around and use the strongest voice that you can possibly use with them. Don't be polite. They need to literally screw off. No male should be approaching you in a...
First of all, every time I hear women start a video with, "I'm literally shaking right now," I just know what she's about to say is literal BS. I don't believe what she said is real. This is just for attention and TikTok clout. Check this other video that is almost identical.
Okay, so I just finished my day and left the grocery store, and I was almost to my car, and this man, I could see him approaching. I'm hard of hearing. I don't hear very well, but I did hear him say, "Excuse me, miss," and before he could even get the rest of his shit out, I kid you not, I said, "Please do not approach me. I am trying to go home." And in the most solid, loud, no bullshit voice I could give this man, I'm getting in my car and I hear him go, "Okay, geez." And I kind of step back out and I said, "You don't approach strange women who are alone in the parking lot." And he said, well, we've been doing this for 30 years. And I said, not today. So to the fucking dude that was selling candy or whatever in the Target parking lot, how about you just don't? Because I don't fucking know you. I don't know that you're not a threat, and you don't know that I'm not a threat. I was not having your shit today. I'm not gonna have it tomorrow. Good luck, but maybe just in the future, don't approach strange women in the parking lot or argue with them about trying to approach them in the parking lot.
I personally think she just made the whole thing up for some worthless TikTok attention. Even if we assume the video is real, it is a shining example of modern paranoia. So, let me get this straight. A man, in broad daylight, politely approached her from a distance, about a basketball court's length away, and she lost her mind? Now I understand the importance of being cautious. We live in a world where it pays to be aware of your surroundings, but to jump straight into panic mode and yell at a man for merely saying, "Excuse me, miss," is a tad bit extreme, don't you think? Not every man that approaches you in public is a potential threat. Newsflash, not all men are monsters lying in wait, eager to pounce. By her account, he wasn't aggressive, wasn't rude, he maintained distance. For all we know, he could have been trying to tell her she dropped her keys, her tire was flat, or God forbid, her son was in some kind of danger. But nope, the first assumption, he's a threat. This kind of knee-jerk reaction paints all men with the same tainted brush, reinforcing this perpetual narrative that men are always the bad guys. It's instances like these that make men question, why even bother? Helping someone could lead to a public humiliation, shouting match, or worse. This incident should be a PSA for all men out there, steer clear. If you see a woman in public, even if she's in distress, think twice, because your intentions, no matter how noble, can easily be misconstrued. And videos like this, they're the prime reason. We've moved from teaching women to be cautious to teaching them to be overly aggressive and reactionary, and that's dangerous. The unfortunate truth is, we're creating a society where men will see a woman getting harassed or in a potentially harmful situation and think, I better not intervene, I might be the one getting yelled at next. Why should men bother helping when the narrative pushed is that they're always the enemy? When did simply being male become synonymous with being a threat? Men, if this is the message we're receiving, maybe it's time we get the memo. Perhaps it's best to let modern women handle it all on their own. After all, wouldn't want to intrude, right? Let's check some comments. This must being a crazy American thing. As an Aussie, she is acting like a crazy person. This isn't normal behavior. Why would anyone be scared because a male is saying excuse me? I've never felt threatened by a male approaching me in a parking lot. This is craziness. Him, excuse me, mom, you dropped your wall. Her, back the fuck up. Women are nuts. The crazy thing about it is, the men that would help a woman in need or protect them from a guy who's actually causing them harm would just ignore them because of women like her. I've literally gone to the groceries and saw a woman leave her phone on the cart, grabbed it and jogged to where she was in the parking lot, politely asked, "Excuse me, ma'am, is this your phone?" She happily turned around and said yes, and thanked me for returning it to her. Am I still not allowed to approach women in a...
To the no, 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 hell to the no, hell to the no.
Imagine if she really did need help. She'd be pissed that no man came to help her. Even if a woman is being assaulted or having trouble with their car, just let her handle it or you'll get in trouble. So she had a strange man approach her in the parking lot and got scared of the situation, yet is sitting in the same parking lot making a video without immediately leaving the area. Total BS. Don't approach them at all. Let them live in their own misery. They don't need no man, right? Nope. Not even if she's on fire. I'm standing back with my popcorn and watching the show.
So it's been brought to my attention that men no longer want to come up to women anymore. Due to sex allegations, women being just so rude and disrespectful, and rejection. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know men didn't want to come up to women anymore. I'm barely finding this out. Why do women choose to cuss guys out when they come up to them and approach them? I have no idea. I apologize for that. But there's just too many fine men And if it takes me, the women, having to come up to you guys and shooting my shot, saying what's up, being the big stepper, then I'll just have to do that. And I'm going to just start coming up to you guys and shooting out compliments and see where it takes me. So if I start coming up to y'all in the grocery store and I say, excuse me, sir, you are just so sexy, I want a response. Okay, I don't want none of that shy stuff.
Ladies, it's high time we flip the script. For decades, if not centuries, it's been the guy's responsibility to make the first move, to put himself on the line, to face rejection head on. But today, given the high-stakes environment, men are slowly but surely checking out. And who can blame them? It's not just about fearing rejection anymore, it's about fearing consequences that can ripple out into every aspect of their lives. And for what? The mere possibility of a date? Let's address the elephant in the room. Many women still operate under the illusion that they are some sort of prize to be won. Sorry, but that's not how this works. Not anymore. Relationships are built on mutual respect, understanding, and shared responsibilities. Both parties need to bring something to the table, and in this modern age, if women truly want serious relationships, the onus is on them to start approaching men. The ball is squarely in your court, ladies. Men have grown weary of navigating the intricate minefield of modern dating. We're fatigued from the constant risk, from the perpetual need to be on guard, from the ceaseless games. It's exhausting, and quite frankly, many of us have reached our breaking point. So, if you're waiting for Prince Charming to gallop over and sweep you off your feet, you might be in for a long wait. We men are continuously bombarded with the message, do not approach women, period. Whether she's out jogging, browsing the aisles at the store, or mid-rep at the gym, the collective wisdom goes, keep your distance, buddy. Yet at the same time, we're also lambasted for not being proactive or romantic enough. Go figure. Now here's a bit of a reality check. Like any skill, the art of approaching requires practice. You don't wake up one day, suddenly fluent in the intricate dance of courtship, and just as with learning any new skill, there are bound to be mistakes and embarrassing blunders. But guess what? In today's age, our margin for error has been reduced to almost nil. In our earnest efforts to eliminate the actual creeps out there, we've given women the atomic weapon of dating, the power to label a guy a creep. And once that tag is attached, it's game over. Socially, professionally, you name it. It's not just about facing a bruised ego or hurt pride anymore. Nowadays, a single misstep can mean reputational harakiri. And so, while on one hand, society laments about clueless men, on the other, it provides no safe ground for these same men to learn, evolve, or even, dare I say, take a risk. Hence, if there's a guy you've got your eye on, and he hasn't made a move, chances are he's been burned before. He's wary, tiptoeing around potential pitfalls. To all the ladies out there, if you want him to take the leap, you've got to roll out the welcome mat in neon lights. Subtlety has left the chat. It's high time to be blatantly, embarrassingly, painfully obvious, because the only way to cut through the fog of mixed messages is with a blazing flare of clarity. Let's check some comments. 80% of the women want a 1% man. 99% of us don't qualify. We get our passports and go overseas. Most men these days would rather stay single. It's not worth it most of the time. They will compress charges on you for telling them they look nice. Majority of us enjoy peace and quiet with no drama. Also, the bank account is getting bigger by the day. We're gonna get finer and healthier and richer and keep minding our business. Most women don't even speak back even when we just say hello. Girls made it clear they don't want to be approached anymore, so it's up to y'all. Apparently being 5'8" inches isn't enough. Correction, we typically don't have a problem with rejection, but the other stuff, you're absolutely right about. It's been years of feminists letting us know, loudly, that they don't want us to, so. Good luck with it. To me it won't work. I won't accept any women. I don't want to be a toy anymore. I'm 45 and I don't talk to women anymore. Been single for 12 years and not at all interested.
I went on a date with a guy. It was fine. I picked up a few icks though, and I didn't want to go on a second one. He wanted to, and wasn't really getting the vibe I was trying to put down, that I wasn't into it. So I sent him a very kind rejection text that basically said, I think you're a great guy. I had a lot of fun. At the time, I thought this was true, but I don't think I'm feeling the connection that you're feeling. Something, I wish you well. He then responded by telling me that I was overestimating my position in this situation and that he never wanted to date me in the first place, even though he wanted to go on a second date, and that I need to get over myself. I responded by telling him that he had a fragile ego. This, of course, only added fuel to the fire, so then I received a few paragraphs telling me that I am simple and uninteresting and myopic. What does myopic mean? I didn't know. I had to Google it. He was just calling me simple-minded. After these paragraphs, I blocked him and did not respond. And I realized that, first off, I just should not have responded in the first place. I should not have brought my ego into the situation to call out his ego. The second thing I realized, it's more of an observation. This is not men bashing at all. I think it's just illuminating as to how women are conditioned versus how men are conditioned. Neither of which in this situation are good. When women get rejected, it's what's wrong with me? We turn inwards. What did I do? What do I lack? When men get rejected, at least in my experiences, it's been an outward projection. What's wrong with you? You're crazy. There's nothing wrong with me. I just think that this is fascinating. But the biggest takeaway, we know what myopic means now.
Honestly, this story is a prime example of how modern dating is an absolute minefield. It's laughable that we've got to this point where even the most straightforward interactions become a cesspool of egos, insecurities, and endless nitpicking. Now, I'm not about to defend the guy here, but in the grand scheme of things, he might have had a point. Let's just cut to the chase. Modern women have developed this roundabout way of communicating. It's almost like they've come to believe that being direct is out of fashion. Instead of just saying it like it is, hey, I appreciated our time, but I don't see this going further. They dance around the subject. It's no wonder men are left bewildered, trying to decode these vague messages, only to be met with even vaguer signals. It's a madhouse. Now, should he have retaliated in the manner he did? Likely not. But, and here's the kicker, perhaps he was onto something. If she thinks men are the only ones projecting when faced with rejection, she's blissfully unaware. There's a plethora of women who, upon facing rejection, become a unique blend of offended, vengeful, and downright nasty. This is why so many men these days are reluctant to drop a dime on first dates. And honestly, can you blame them? Here's a tip for modern women. If you're going to use a guy for a free dinner, at least have the decency to be straightforward about it. A simple, thanks for the free meal, had no intention of seeing you again, but hey, free food, right? Would have been more honest. She talks about turning inward after rejection. Please. Every time I hear a woman claim men aren't interested in her because they're intimidated, it's crystal clear that's not turning inward. It's deflecting responsibility. They keep parroting this narrative that women introspect and men project. It's both laughable and tragic. And hey, let's remember who society expects to do the heavy lifting, from the first move to footing the bill. She thought she was playing 4D chess, making moves to find her Prince Charming, while in reality, she overplayed her hand, seeking a Disney-esque romance in a world that doesn't operate on fairy tales. To top it all off, instead of acknowledging the obvious, she goes on a rant, trying to make herself the victim. Classic move.
Thank you so much for watching. If you found value in this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future uploads, drop a comment, and share it. See you in the next video, guys. Till next time.